like to wish you a welcome to Catherine Trautmann, the president of Eurimages, also to Mr. Roberto Ola, the vice president of Eurimages, and all the members of the board of Eurimages. I also thank Mrs. Irina Petrescu for hosting us tonight. And as my colleague told you, tonight we'll discuss about the perspectives and challenges in the gender equality in Romanian film industry. Our guest will be Ada Solomon, producer, academian, producer and directors, another guest, producer and directors, Tudor Georgiou, producer, and Daniel Mitulescu, producer. Before we start, I want to remind you that in the last 20 years, of the 420 Romanian film producers, 24 are directed by women. And moreover, 29 of Romanian film producers are women. And now I want to ask Ms. Irina Petrescu to tell us a few words.
Thank you, Mrs. Mitran, for your introduction. Madame la Ministre, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, bonsoir. On behalf of the French Institute and from the French Embassy, I am thrilled to welcome you at our cinema, named after the famous French-Romanian actress Elvira Popescu. We are honored to host an event which brings together so many important figures from the Romanian and European film industries, particularly this year when the Eurimages conference is dedicated to the issue of gender equality, a topic lying at the very heart of the French public agenda. At the beginning of 2018, the French president stressed the issue of gender equality as one of the top priorities of his 5-year term. France has defined and actively promotes an international strategy for gender equality throughout its public policy spectrum, be it in the fields of foreign affairs, economics, or culture. We are committed to support this strategy, which is of capital importance to all of mankind. As far as the French Institute in Romania is concerned, we are happy to endorse various initiatives related to promoting gender equality. A few recent examples from the month of March alone. Last week, we partnered with the organization Analyst in an event called Unsilent Voices, aiming to raise awareness about the issue of domestic violence. Second example, on March 29th, we will host a screening specifically for young girls coming from difficult backgrounds who are helped by another NGO, namely Capital Fille, to fulfill their potential, granting them better chances to integrate the professional market. And last but not least, through our cinema, Elvira Popescu, of course, we are determined to contribute gender equality improvement in the film industry by supporting female directors, showing their movies to the public. In fact, our current program includes, to cite but a couple of examples, The Distance Between Me and Me by Mona Nicoară and Dana Bunescu, based on an idea by Ada Solomon, and Touch Me Not by Adina Pintilie. It is essential that for us that the talent, creativity, and women's point of view in the film industry, be they producers, directors, writers, actresses, find a better platform of expression in Romania and worldwide, and we assure you of our continuous support in the effort to attain this goal. And now it is my pleasure to give the floor to Mrs. Catherine Trottmann, President de Eurimages.
So, dear friends, I can say that, Alex. I have some thanks to express, because we feel like at home in a very beautiful city, I must say. Bucharest has a special atmosphere with architecture. When we like it, we understand also that this special addiction of Romanian people to arts is really tangible in the streets, and when we look at this heritage of wonderful architecture, which is a mixed one, with tradition, but also of different influences and different interpretations. So, and we are today also with all the team of Eurimages very glad to meet one of the most promising places for ladies in cinema. And so I want to thank Irina Popescu, the attaché culturel who represents Hélène Gross, who couldn't be unfortunately present this evening. I want also to thank very warmly Anca Mitran, General Director of the Romanian Film Center, and of course my two companions, if I can say, Doina Bostan and Alex Traila, two colleagues of our committee who are so present, both of them, and so participative, collaborative in our work in Eurimages. And thank you for this preparation, organization. We are very glad to be here. It will be a very good edition. So these typical outreach events are an important part of Eurimages' gender equality strategy, aiming for 50-50 by 2020. It's very soon now, 2020 next year, you know. They are part of the awareness-raising angle of the strategy to ensure that we can give greater visibility to local female filmmakers, but also for us to learn from and have an exchange of views about the issues most relevant to that specific local industry. And what we appreciate a lot is that we can meet also students, and this is very important. Looking forward to hearing more about the view from the other side, panel discussion, which will focus on the male and female perspectives of what is to work in the Romanian film industry. Delighted that the director and producer Anca Damian will be on the panel and co-moderator of this panel, as she was the winner of the first ever Eurimages Audencia Award at Istanbul Film Festival in 2016 with her film Magic Mountain. She also took part in the Council of Europe's World Democracy Forum in November last year on a panel entitled "Do More Films by Women Mean More Women's Film?" Another panelist and co-moderator, Ada Solomon, is also a well-known producer to Eurimages, who has frequently received our support, including for the following projects: Everybody in Your Family by Radu Jude, the documentary Tarzan's Testicles by Alexandru Solomon, Soldiers, Story from Ferenc Paris by Ivana Mladenovic, and Aferim also by Radu Jude. Ada is also president of the European Women's Audiovisual Network, and in 2013 was awarded the highly prestigious Eurimages Prize, co-production award, at the official ceremony of the European Film Awards. And you spoke so nicely about it, about this moment. And we are also very glad when people are so glad to receive such awards. For Eurimages, it is a motivation, a pleasure, I must say that the team of Eurimages, conducted by Roberto and Enrico, is really a team of militants for cinema, I must say. And they like it, and they like the people, and all the people of cinema and films. Another panelist is Anna Trakinsi, who is a director of photography, and we look forward to hearing her input, and we don't often have such competence in our panels. And we also have to make the other perspective on gender equality, which is also vital, namely Tudor Giorgio, who is both a director and producer and who has often been supported by Eurimages, including for the films Why Me, of Snails and Men, and In the Beat of the Heart, which is in post-production. And the producer, Daniel Mitulescu, who co-produced the film The Trip We Took with Dad, directed by Anca Miruna Lazarescu, also supported by Eurimages, which premiered in 2016 internationally, and Tallinn Black Nights. I'm also looking forward to watching later this evening the debut feature, Limonade, by Ioana Urikaru, which received Eurimages production support and received many awards, including Best Director Prize, the Heart of Sarajevo Prize in 2018, as well as screening in the Panorama section of last year's Berlinale. If you would like to find out more about the work of Eurimages and gender equality, please don't hesitate to consult the Eurimages and gender website, which is packed full of useful information. You can also control what we are doing and if we progress sufficiently, because everything is transparent, it's the rule, and we like to work in such a way because it's also an open and common strategy we can share with many. And this information includes an increasing number of interviews with female directors who have received Eurimages support. A number of our gender information brochures are available here also tonight, and of course online. It is just a precision. So it is a transition to invite the panelists on the stage. I think we will continue to discuss. Once more, thank you very much for the Romanian Institute for Films, and to Anca and to Alex and Doina. Please, applause. Institut Français also. So I just want to say to you that for us, we must have a reflection about it. When I came this afternoon, I looked to see the cinemas I saw in Bucharest. And I understood that they are closed now. And this is one of the place in which the films can be, and it's near a sort of a monopoly, you said. In fact, because as little as it is, but it's a pity not to have enough rooms for cinema in the city. So, but we are so glad to be here. Thank you very much.
Before we start the discussion, I will just briefly go through the numbers so that you can hear them and see them. There are three perspectives. The one of the films that were, let's say, released and delivered to the film centers, the figures of the numbers of the submitted films, generally the total amount of films and how many films were submitted by female directors, and the success rate. Yes, it is the general number of all the productions. So now you're not going to see split it by each section, like feature film, documentary, animation, debuts. A more detailed analysis will come a bit later. But just to have a bit of a view on how things evolved in the last 10 years, because it's from 2007 till 2017. We can have the slide. The next one, please. So these are the titles, these are the films production that were released and delivered to the film center. from 2007 till 2017, 345 films were delivered, from which 38 are directed by female directors, and that is roughly 9%. Split it on each, you can see how many shorts and documentary animations were produced out of this total production. Next one. You can see
what year was that?
from 2007 to 2017, 10 years. So you can see the total productions, the blue line, while the female-directed films per year, related to the previous slide, you can see the evolution is it got higher from 2014 onwards. 6 films being released every year by female directors for the 2015, 16, and 17. Next one, please. From 2007 to 2017, 1,569 projects were submitted for the analysis for being financed, out of which 323 projects were submitted by female directors, which is about 20%. Next one, please. And from all those projects that earlier were submitted, 420 were financed in total, out of which 101 are directed by female directors, which is roughly 24%. Next one, please. And you can see here a bit the curve. Why you have the down, the zero, it's because in some years, for different reasons, there were no calls for financing, so that's why you don't have any production financed in that particular year. But in general, for the past 2 years, again, you can see a raise in the numbers of female directors submitted projects and award. That's basically the short overview for our figures, and with these numbers, I let you chat.
As you can see, we are aiming for 50-50 even in the panel, and they are trying their best to reach the quota, the men. They will get there. We will support them. Actually, I was thinking, rereading Ingmar Bergman, Scenes from a Marriage the other day. It's a line over there, of course, by a male character, saying that, and it was quite some time ago, the female nowadays, they can do everything. The problem is that they don't dare, which is changing. And I think that, for instance, Anka is one of the persons that really dared by picking a profession that is usually taken in huge majority by men, or definitely it was by the time that she decided to do this, being a DOP, first of all, and then choosing to go on her path, on her own, director, producer, pushing her projects. How was it, and did you dare? Did you feel it like being?
I wouldn't say that I dare. I just did what I wanted to do. It's just I followed my
What you liked.
my let's say my inner fire. It's like I didn't want to be a director of photography. I wanted to do the job of director of photography. So you don't know, I had a previous life as a director of photography. I was director of photography of 2 non-feature films. And on this stage you can see the woman who is continuing. She's here now. You are the next from Anka Damian. There was no other woman doing directing of photography, and it was not because they were not gifted. It was not because they didn't graduate it, because I was also teacher at the Film University. There were half at the Film University. So Anna succeeded to do, after I stopped doing directing of photography, she did the first long feature as a director of a woman director of photography. So it's when I wanted to tell stories, of course, I started to direct. And as the Romanian way of being a director is to produce, as you can see, only he's the brother of the director. He's producing his brother. If I didn't have the brother to produce me, I had to do EAV and to learn to produce, to follow my path in order to do my movies. This is all.
And yeah, actually, you know, we have a quite weird system of selecting the projects in the Romanian CNC, meaning that they are submitted anonymous. So the lecturer, the people that are in the commissions, they don't know who is the director, if it's a woman, if it's a man, if it's a joke. So also this is one of the very few positive things that I can tell about this anonymous system that we are fighting and discussing for many years now. And I don't know how it is, because I never feel it like that I'm judging projects by who is writing it. Not even when I'm reading books. Maybe there is a special feeling, but otherwise I don't look into it like this. And I don't think we had a huge problem in terms of directors like, no, I'm not reading this because this is coming from a woman and I don't believe in it. And I would give the word to Tudor, because for Tudor it was like building the whole career and the companies, the festival. It was hand in hand with a woman. It was 50-50 by all means. He was producing...
Always family issues in Romania, as you can see.
He was producing Oana's film. Oana was producing his films. They were deciding together. They built Transylvania Film Festival together. Everything was done hand in hand, and it was 50-50 for sure. Do you have a different approach when you speak with a woman filmmaker, when you analyze a project, and you also produced quite another bunch of women directors? And being a director also, that's also a question. How do you treat your colleagues?
Without being too modest, I think I'm very good psychologist in dealing with women in terms of like we have now an issue, a project which was written by men, not very good, but it happened. So Oana, my partner, asked another scriptwriter, a female scriptwriter, to polish it, and it turned out to be an amazing script. And she is now unable to cope with all this mess because the previous scriptwriter wants also to direct. So we have an issue like with the rights and with everything. So I'm now the one who's dealing through all the things. But what I'm trying to say before being very precise to your question, the figures which you saw on screen, I think, are not so bad for Romania. Here is not Scandinavia, as you can see. Here is the Balkans. And I was finishing the film school in '94, and I remember when we had 2 or 3 colleagues, women, at the film directing department. We had one colleague trying to learn to be a DOP, they were continuously bullied by their teachers. The teachers did not believe at the camera department that woman, she was skilled, she tried to, she came from TV, she was not given any attention. My colleagues, they had a different approach. They were really special in their way. None of them are now in the industry. They quit. So we are coming from an environment where I think it was very machistic and it was very, very much influenced by some big gurus, some male important directors who always believe that women do not have anything to do in this industry. So I think for me the figures look great, and I'm sure they will change, because in the last years there are great female directors who had their personal vision about cinema, working in Romanian cinema today. And coming back to your question, I think it's for me it was, I think, it was interesting to see and to work also with Wana, but also with other directors, and to understand their perspective and their point of view of touching stories. They were not always my perspective. We fight, we had conflicts, but at the end, I think they were, part of the creative process, and I don't think it was too much of a difference between. I think the same process is happening when you work with men. I don't think that particularly here there is a difference. I think it's about their sensibility and their approach to a specific story. Right now I have on my slate of projects in development 3 projects which are 3 feature projects which are directed by women, and I'm 100% sure that one of these stories is so specifically written with a sort of peculiar sensibility, because the scriptwriter and director is a woman, and it's dealing with an age issue, with women, the midlife age crisis, and with all the changes which are happening. So I think I am gifted to work with them, and it's always a great journey to start from an early stage with the project and then accompany through the end.
Anna, do you feel protected? I mean, you work as a DOP, and your crews are majority, by far, the technicians that you are working with are men. I don't think that we have a gaffer female in Romania.
Project, I have a female focus puller.
Yeah, okay. But otherwise you feel protected do you feel that they treat you sometimes like being more vulnerable?
Yes, but that's nice. I'm small,
yeah.
Not in that sense, in a gender inequality sense. They are sensitive.
Yeah, the positive sense, Anna.
The positive sense, yes. I really get along with all the crews. The problems are not with the crews, as maybe a lot of you expected, but with the producers and directors.
Okay, that's interesting.
It's true.
No, but I was looking around, and it's really sometimes, and especially in the DOP team, they are very protective towards their head of department. And I was wondering if sometimes they are really coming to embrace you. But speaking about reactions, I want to ask you a question. That is something that I would like to ask to the audience to answer in their head as well, which is when you look into the mirror or you are with yourself, which is your major bias towards the other gender? which is your major prejudgment or thought that you consider? What would be something, Danielle, that you think in your insights and with yourself?
Can I?
Yeah.
So I think, maybe it's not that right, but I have this thought about a sort of lack of emotional intelligence from men's side.
Okay.
Which is very important.
For me, I work with 3 female directors. I mean, when I work with them, I didn't thought differently because they were women. I mean, sometimes they are more maybe comparing to the men, maybe they want more to be cared of, or to be more needy somehow. But the projects were difficult, not because they were women, but because the projects were very ambitious women. You know
I know them. I know
very ambitious women.
strong women.
Strong women. So very working hard. They were working hard on their projects. So I never had these problems or thinking of. I think they didn't maybe feel like they were women, and they. So for me, I cared only about how the project's gonna end, how it's gonna be done, to be well financed, to finish the shooting. So seeing the figures that you have shown us, to see one of 2 women projects to succeed getting the financing, for me it's quite well now. So every 2 projects submitted by a woman, it was financed, so it's not bad. And in my experience now, I see, for example, sales agents. For me, I didn't make statistics, but I'm more women than men. Romanian producer, quite a lot, young Romanian producer in the past 4 years. I mean, so for me, the Romanian industry is going quite well for females, in my opinion. And I don't know, so I never thought about gender inequality, and I think that maybe because we are let's say young people in the industry, I don't know how it was in the 90s or in the communist period, of course, it's different. I'm very optimistic about how the things will go on. I see many women in institutions like financing and director of funds.
You said you worked with, you have a feeling that the directors, female directors that you work with were strong and needy at the same time. How do you feel about that? And were the male directors strong and needy in the same way?
Yeah, they are needy also, but
So don't you think with prejudice?
no, I don't think so.
So
It's
the
just,
situation of women is good in Romania.
No, the problem is, it's my experience with, I work with 7 or 8 directors from my experience, it's not a very big difference, and it's not something that it makes me think about prejudice, in my experience.
Do you have a kind of bias when you think of men, something that you prejudge?
I think that the men have a view and see what they want to see. So, and when a woman comes, they will think that she will be hysterical, she will try to impose, you can never, I hate also women who raise the voice, but a man who's raising the voice is a real man. He's just having his the very good attitude of being a boss of the team, the normal attitude. So I think that I have, due to my age, I have seen a lot of things. When I was 18 years old and I went to the film school, there were 106 candidates on 6 places, and they were telling me, "What are you searching here? You're crazy. You are coming from Transylvania to." So it was a real aggressive attitude. Now it's not aggressive, but it's the same pattern in a different code. But the pattern stays there. You're a woman. Oh, let her play in our playground, but there is a nice place in the shade for her.
Do you also have a kind of prejudgment, bias, you name it, about women?
I like women.
You're not judging them ever?
If I'm not judging more than I'm judging men.
I think we should be 50-50 over there
Yes.
as well.
Yeah.
Tudor, a prejudgment?
I just want to say that I disagree with Anka, because I think it's not about, doing this kind of judgment. I remember our brief working experience. We produced Anka's first feature film, and I have to say, even then, Anka was among the persons it was her debut film, of course. She came after working as a DOP, but she was determined, she knew what she wanted. Of course, we were working on a tight budget, and she tried hard, everybody tried hard, and we were not maybe able always, but she was determined, she had a vision, she wanted, and this kind of being focused and pushing the producers to go, it's a quality which I think it's not about a man or a woman. I think if you want to succeed in this area, in this job, you have to do it, and you have to, otherwise you could be an amazing director, and if you are not enough pushy, or if you are not really, if you do not want to, you don't have to make too many compromises or at all. And I think if you do it, if you go this way, you can achieve success, which you, by the way, did tremendously. So I think it's about every every human being, and it's about reaching your goal, and that's it. And I have just to say, for me the sweetest stories which I remember in my producing career were with female directors, and there were amazing moments of joy. I don't know. I'm just very briefly remembering a funny story. We produced the first film directed by the French acting icon Fanny Ardant. She shot in Romania her first film, and it was very funny that she traveled all over Transylvania with my partner, and Fanny was not at all peculiar about where she would stay. She stayed in pensions, she stayed in village houses. When it was the shooting, she came in Bucharest. I waited for her at the airport, sent to a very posh hotel like Novotel, And then she freaked out 10:30 p.m. that the room didn't have a double door. And I said, oh God, I mean, I have to fix as a producer thing. She was in every village in Transylvania, sleeping wherever, and now she's having an issue that is not. Of course, the French producer said, don't bother, just let her. I said, I cannot do. And then I realized, that it's something to her. I have to offer the best conditions. I fix this, and always we are laughing about it. And there are small things in the working relation between a producer and the woman director. You have to. Yeah, you have to make things working, and you have to have the director happy. That's the whole thing.
So I think you got a little bit of the perspective about how the Romanians are looking into the matter. Of course, we are each and everyone with our own personality and with our own views and with our own beliefs. And we let you enjoy the movie now, which is also about women.